You say that you weren't friends. Did you bully him?
Oh, I bullied him hard.
I cried myself to sleep every night.
Yeah.
It's like I knew I was screwed when I was like, why am I counting my toes? It's an English test.
Yeah.
So Caleb was able to walk in with that binder.
So if someone wants to talk a little smack, you're just like,
Well, that and
what year you want? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Your Daily Dose podcast, presented to you by R&R. As always, I'm Logan.
I'm Ethan, and today we're joined by Caleb. We'll pass the mic over to him in a second to kind of get a little intro for him and if he wants to say anything special. But first off, I want to start off by giving a shout out to the companies that make this podcast and this show possible. So I want to give a big thank you to Bulkhead Energy, the newest ones. If you guys have not checked out Bulkhead, go over there to bulkhead.com. Grab yourself a case of one of the multi-packs they have. Use the code RR10 at checkout, and it gives you 10% off your purchase, and also lets them know that we sent you over there.
And we will have a link in the description.
Yeah.
From here on out, we will have a link in the
Yes.
description in every single video. So if you guys don't want to type it in, if you're too lazy, click the link, sends you right to it.
Yeah, and also they're a veteran-owned company.
Yep.
They
Better known, better operated.
and all their drinks taste good. Like I haven't had one yet where I'm like, I have my favorite, but they're all very good.
I mean, we liked them and we're hyping them up and talking them up amongst each other. Anyway. Even before we got sponsored by them.
Yeah.
Like they're good.
They're very good. So go ahead and check them out. They're a veteran-owned company. They don't play into the politics stuff, and if they do, it's going to be all pro Second Amendment. So check them out. Down below, you're also going to have a discount link for Wuben and Olight and hopefully Xegis at this point in time. And then we'll have a link to the website, but also if you need any steel targets, check out challengetargets.com. Use the code RR10 at checkout if you want to get some of the best steel in the industry.
Yeah.
So kind of carrying on from that, we want to also give another big shout out to the Higher Caliber podcast.
Yep.
They had us on earlier this week. Bunch of good dudes, two really good guys. They're brothers.
Yep.
Super professional setup. I can't talk highly enough about them. Thanks for if you guys are watching this. Thanks for having us on. It was a blast.
Real good people. I mean, just you guys hop over there and watch it yourself. But just a little bit of background. The one is a Army vet.
Yep.
And they both are actually EMT firefighters. So they definitely have put back in their time in the community and stuff too. So
serving others.
Yeah. So go ahead and we'll probably put their link down in the description as well. Go over and watch our podcast with them, and then stick around,
Watch some
subscribe to them, watch their other stuff. I mean, they're really good guys. So.
But yeah, so just want to give a big shout out, thank you to those guys, and then I'll just give you guys a quick breakdown of I'll let Caleb do his little intro.
How we doing? My name is Caleb. I grew up in the area and actually went to school with Ethan. We knew of each other, but we didn't really
We're on the same friend circles.
right. We also had a little bit of an age difference too in school, so we didn't really reconnect until a couple years back, and when we met at church. We were on the safety team together, and then kind of got to talking. We got into kind of more of the gun Second Amendment world type of conversations, and actually started getting together, shooting, and just kind of hanging out. Got to talking a lot, and the rest has been history.
So when you say that you weren't friends, did you bully him?
Oh, I bullied him hard.
I cried myself to sleep every night. No, I was sports. I played football, and I hung around with that crowd. And Caleb was smarter than me, so he hung out with the smart crowd. But
He didn't have to take his shoes off to do math.
it's like I knew I was screwed when I was like, why am I counting my toes? It's an English test.
Yeah.
But
I'm screwed.
But no, I mean, about 2 years ago, Caleb and I kind of reconnected one of those, at church. I'm like, hey, you remember me? Yeah, and we kind of hit it off. Like, found out he was a real gun guy, not just a guy that has guns.
Yeah.
And you guys will know the difference if you know what I'm talking about. Like, he had an M&P 2.0 with a TLR1 and RMR Type 2 on
Yep.
it. You know,
Yeah.
he had a Safari Lane holster for his, his outside the waistband, battle belt setup. So he's got all of his stuff. And also something else, which Caleb will transition to this. He's taken a ton of classes from big name instructors. He's has more planned to take this year, and he's also gone through OPATA. He's not a police officer, but he's gone through OPATA, the Ohio Police Officer Certification, and so he passed that. So he's a competent shooter, safe shooter, and as Logan said on take one, some of you want on our side.
Yeah.
So,
Caleb, we have known each other for about roughly a year now, give or take. But we,
I'll take.
Off take?
I'll take.
Oh, you'll take? Okay, I'll give. But we hung out the first time we went shooting. It was only like a couple hour, range day with us three. And then kind of, with our schedules, his schedule, whatever else, kind of didn't see him for a few months, but now having him, around a little bit more consistent ish, as much as we can with all of our crazy schedules and stuff. He's a good guy, good shooter, like Ethan said, definitely one that you want to have on your side, if, crap hits the fan or whatever it may be. But I mean, overall, I mean, not even just shooter wise, but, being a good dude in general, really,
and you guys have heard us say it in other podcasts. Like Caleb's, I'm not saying it's because he's sitting here. Go back and watch those podcasts where he's not sitting here. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
yeah.
So
Just skip out between minute 5 and 7. Don't watch that one. It's like, yeah, this mother. But yeah, do you want to talk about OPATA at all, or do you want to talk about maybe a little bit of
I mean, I could hit on it real quick. Out of high school, I've always wanted to be a police officer. I knew a lot of people that went through OPATA, and that are still active officers.
Okay.
So I right out of high school, I went through OPATA, and then life got in the way. I got married, had our first kid, and life plans changed.
Yeah.
So
That tends to happen sometimes.
ended up going a different direction. But all in all, it's been a good direction. I do miss it occasionally, but all in all, I still keep up with all my trainings. I try to get out at least twice a year for like an actual professional course, and then I do a lot of local courses with a lot of good guys here locally as well.
Do you keep up on like certification or certificates or
Yeah,
you do?
I have so every class I take, I keep it's basically a training binder.
Okay.
So everything that like who was my instructor, who's the course through, who's the instructor, round count, what drills were covered.
So if someone wants to talk a little smack, you're just like,
Well, that and
what year you want? It's like,
it's good documentation to have because in the unfortunate case if you ever had to use that,
Yeah.
you have a binder that says, well, why did you do this? Well, this is how I was trained.
yeah. Yeah.
So it's good to have that, and then it's also a great way to meet really well-rounded people. It's a great group of guys you find all over the country that come to these classes, and it's a ton of fun.
well, and also just speaking on that, like having that binder, like not gonna go into his personal life in case there's any creepazoids out there, but like Caleb at his place of work, not gonna go into anything crazy, but his employer said, "Hey, we want somebody to start carrying a gun to, in case something crazy happens." So Caleb was able to walk in with that binder, slap it down. They're like, "You're in," like you know what I mean. So like that helps too. But yeah, you've taken some pretty big name classes as far as like from what tactical response.
A number of years back, I've taken some courses from Tactical Response. One course that I would really like to take through is Warrior Poet Society with John Lovell. I have not done one of their courses yet. I would really love to. Just haven't had the opportunity. I'm getting ready to take a course coming up with a regular guy training, Chris. He has a pistol course, 3-day pistol course coming up, 2,100 rounds. It's going to be a good time. So if you're in the area, check them out. It's going to be a good time.
Oh yeah,
So
that's high round count.
It's a great way to work out any issues that
Yeah.
you might have. I mean, they're going to identify it real quick, and you're gonna rep it out.
I mean, you got to think about it. That's got to be a little bit better than the last Rune Nation class I took. It was pistol and rifle course. It was 1,000 rounds of handgun and 1,000 rounds of 5.56. So that was an expensive one.
Yeah. Rifle round. Even, I mean, really, I mean, because you're just using 55 grain BS.
Yeah,
And
but
you're
still.
still spending, what, $400 for 1,000 rounds?
Yeah.
Like, and that's just, boop, just right
Gone.
there. So,
Have you ever looked at Fire Ridge Academy locally? Have you heard of them?
No.
I'd say
That's something that a couple other people have recommended too. I just haven't looked them up yet.
Well, that's actually those guys is range.
Oh, is it really?
yeah.
Okay.
So
That'd be a good one to check out.
yeah, I say they do a lot of good classes with local instructors. They do a lot of good classes with local instructors and some bigger name instructors too. And the good thing about them is like just because I've seen all their stuff on Facebook before I even knew these guys. Like their courses are not expensive, and they've also got some like really realistic round count courses too for like an average everyday shooter. Where it's like 250 or 500 rounds, like, so that's pretty cool. And there's a lot of law enforcement guys that go over there and train and do stuff. So like I said, I've never been out there myself, but I've always seen it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Now we've got the personal connection with them.
Could you just, never mind. It's,
But anyhow, so the reason why Caleb's sitting here with us today is we just got done doing what's called what we're dubbing the Minuteman Mile. So
new video coming out. It's going to be,
it'll be out by the time this drops.
yep, it'll be out by the time this drops. And like I said, we came up with the title Minuteman Mile, kind of like a little play on the Mogadishu Mile. I mean,
Except for fat, out of shape, middle-aged dudes, What, nothing to say? But no, so
fat, out of shape, middle-aged guys that were still able to do it pretty confidently and
like,
easily.
Yeah, we
So,
did good. So we'll kind of give you guys a little backstory on this. So we started doing some videos mainly on daily R&R, but there's also one of the videos on Reloads and Reps. But we started doing like EDC gear first off, like what I carry, what Logan carries, our tier 1 gear. What you have on you for your walking around kind of setup. And then that got some pretty good views. So we're like, all right, let's do a tier two setup.
it did.
So a tier 2 is like a high threat concealment bag, or like a high threat situation bag, where it's pretty much it accompanies your CCW, your EDC stuff, to where if you're going into a situation where there's a higher threat of higher chance of a threat, you can take that bag with you and not be out of place. That got pretty good views. We also did our Minuteman kit, and then we built him out a bag that's kind of like a high threat bag.
Yep.
So we brought you guys along for those. Everybody seemed to really like them. It's some of our highest viewed videos, actually. So in both of those videos, or all three of those videos, I heard a lot of comments, which I appreciate the comments, but a lot of guys were like, "Hey, because in those kits I only carry MRE or freeze dried meals,
Mountain House one,
yeah, Mountain Houses, Peak, something like that." And I got a lot of comments of, "Hey, you should have something you can eat right away that you don't have to heat up water for," or like my tier 2 bag is a red backpack that you can put a rifle in. Everyone's like, "Hey, what happens if you're going through the woods? That red's going to stick out." So. And other things were like water. You don't have water in any of your kits, just water filters, which is all good stuff. But I was like, man, they need to see our tier 3, because I've had my truck for 5 years, and I've got it set up with a bunch of equipment and gear that accompanies all those kits. It can boost them, bolster them, whatever you want to call it. So like in that kit, in the truck kit, I have a OD green bag cover that's waterproof that can go over that red bag. I keep a case of water in my truck at all times for the most part. When it gets down to about half a case, I put another case in there. Just even for like sports and stuff. Get to soccer fields, it's like, I forgot my water, Dad. Well, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah.
So, and like in there, in the
Going over
truck,
and filling it in a creek. It's filtered.
but and also like I keep meal cold weathers in there. I usually keep a handful of them, three to five of them at any point in time. So like those meal cold weathers, they're MREs that have a Mountain House freeze dried main. But in saying that, if you guys have ever messed with MREs, they're gonna have all your snacks and your pokey bait, everything that you can kind of just eat without having to heat up the meal. So we wanted to kind of go through that. So this was about a month ago. I was talking about it more seriously with Logan. I was like, what if we do like a little scenario, like, so Logan and I, without going into too much detail, he lives 7.1 miles away from where we work. I live 6.9 miles away. So we've also got a local like bike trail next to us. That's close in proximity to our property that we shoot at and stuff. So the plans is that we're going to load up everything from the truck, only using the tier 3 kit with my kind of winter sustainment kit that I also throw on the truck during winter months. So the whole thought process behind it was, let's load up what we got in the truck for our tier 3 gear, go on a 7-mile hike, 3.5 miles out, 3.5 miles back, and then set up and camp in the woods. And a month ago when we did this, we didn't know what the temperature was going to be. We live in Ohio, so it's been 70.
The last 4 days has been 70 degrees.
And then
yesterday was like 42 and 27 at night.
Yeah, so it got down below 30 at night. So we did that. You know, my pack was probably the Goldilocks. You know, like
techie one.
His was the lightest. Mine was the second heaviest. Probably we didn't weigh it, and then his was probably the heaviest. Mine might have been heavier than yours. I don't know. But and then saying that, Logan had the lightest pack, but his also was a non-framed, just regular backpack.
Yeah, soft shell type.
His bag might have weighed, felt like it weighed more than ours even. So what we did was, we loaded up everything. Like I said, went out there, did that, came back, set up camp, got firewood together and stuff, and we learned a lot. So we did what we're kind of calling the Minuteman Mile, just kind of a play on some other stuff. But this is going to be either an annual, semi-annual, maybe 4 times a year kind of thing. As the seasons change, kind of test it out, do different scenarios, that kind of thing.
I mean, realistically, if we want to do it enough, or if we even get more people that are interested into it, we could do a spring, a summer, a fall, and a winter one. You know what I mean? Something like that. But that's up in the air still. But regardless, we will do it at least once a year, like for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it just kind of, I don't think I said it in this take, but just about like this video in general. Like,
yes.
We don't really push you guys or push our content out on you guys, like to be like, hey, you need to go do this, or hey, you need to go watch this. But this video literally took us 24 hours, just video time. That's not including everything else that we've done to it. But we would really love for you guys to go out and click that video when it comes into your subscription box, or if you see it, in your feed or whatever else, like, because we put some time and some effort and money into it, using gear and stuff that, we can't really replenish, or we can't, get back, but we got to replenish and stuff. But, this one kind of means a little bit more to us. I mean, in a way, because like I said, it is a, situational base. We had an idea or a situation, a collapse kind of, if we're at work, like a collapse situation, you get home bag, bug out bag, whatever you want to call it, just in general. So there is a little bit of extra thought and time put into this one than normally, our videos. So,
well, and also, like, we didn't know what the temperature was going to be when we did this.
Yeah.
Because I said it was a month ago. So it was one of those. I said something to Logan. The next day, I texted Caleb. Caleb was like, I'm putting in vacation days. Let's do this. I'm like, all right. Now we have to. Even if it's cold out, we got to. So, but no, it was good. And also the good thing about doing stuff like this is, like, once again, we used just what I had in my truck for us, plus the winter sustainment kit, which that's pretty much just 2 military sleep systems, modular sleep systems, whatever you want to call it. Which is a lightweight bag, a heavier bag, and then a bivy, a Gore-Tex bivy that goes around the outside. And like what Logan was kind of getting at, I don't know if he really got into it, but like, we're not saying to go out and just straight up copy what we're doing.
Yeah.
But
yes. Yeah. Him alley-ooping that for me. But yeah, so like there's some people, like even me, like, some of this stuff is still relatively new of the preparedness, if you want to say it.
Prepared citizen.
I've been in the gun realm and the guns and all that stuff. Like that's my meat and potatoes. But
and
now
hunting.
Like,
you've got outdoor experience.
So like I do know the outdoors and stuff like that. But having more of this preparedness to where, a crap hits a fan or a grid collapse, or, we all know the scenarios.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like we put out a video like this. It's not like hey, you need to follow this, to a T. You need to have this, and this in your bag. Like, this is our way and this is no way. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that this is what we have. This is what we have accumulated. This is what we have from this certain situation. certain situations, certain places, everything's going to change. But if you have nothing or you don't know where to start, we're not telling you to copy us, but if you don't know where to start, then copy us. You know, at least you'll have a good
It'll get you a good start. It'll be a good start.
Good
I mean,
baseline.
thank you. Your kit will be what's the word I'm looking for? Unique to you.
Yeah.
More mission specific.
More mission specific. So like your area, your personal needs, your personal physical ability,
or even terrain. Like if you're in an urban area,
yeah,
if
terrain.
you're
Are
woods,
you
desert, whatever.
are you moving with teenagers? Are you moving with younger toddlers, infants? So all that's dependent on your gear, your like what you're carrying, and what is your goal? What are you packing a bag for?
Well, and it's kind of what Logan was just saying though. Like if you have nowhere to go, like you're just like, I'm new to this, but I want to have something. Yeah, you can copy one of our kits.
Right.
Where mine's more of like an everyday, like I keep in my truck. It doesn't need to be really maintained as far as like the food and stuff because it's all freeze dried or long term storage food. Or you've got something where like because mine's more of like a general kit. Like if me and the old lady and the kids were out and about, hey, let's go hike on this trail, this state park. We can pull off literally. I can pull out those 2 bags, load them up with food, water, water filter, just some basic stuff. We go hit the trail. Like I don't need to go home and pack anything or be like, wish we could. But so that's my kit. Then you've got somebody like Caleb's kit, where his is like a very mission specific. Well, not even mission specific. It's a general like mission bag. So like if something happened, I mean, I'm not trying to speak for you, but if something happened, like that'd be your bag you would grab, and it would sustain you for hopefully in a broad spectrum of different scenarios.
Yeah, I built this bag around my area to sustain myself and up to 4 other individuals for 3 to 5 days. So anything past that, I mean, obviously I can ration and push it further, but it's specifically for a specific area and time duration. But that obviously stuff would come out or go in depending on mission specific or event specific. Yeah, and the bag does change with season. So that bag in that video you're going to see is a Pacific winter setup. So obviously winters in Ohio can drop in temperature fairly quickly. So I'm running a slightly heavier bag with some additional sustainment gear. Obviously in the summertime that weight's gonna drop significantly. I don't need as much to sustain whether it be myself and a team or myself and my family. So it's all fluid.
Well, and that's how it is with these kids. So everything's always changing and evolving. Like I've been doing this for a hot minute. I started kind of doing this stuff when I was in the Army back in 2010 to 2014. We go out in the field, so I had a pretty good idea of different stuff I need for different scenarios. But even my kit's still evolving. Like one of the things that we kind of found is yesterday when we did this hike, it was 40 degrees during the day, got down to what you said, 27 at night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it got cold. So in my kit, I keep, like I said, 2 military sleep systems, one for me, one for the old lady or whoever I'm with. And, if I'm taking the kids, I also pack their sleeping bags and stuff. But one of the other 2 things I keep in there is I keep 2 camping hammocks because where we live, there's those trees, that's an easy way to get you up off the ground. Something I found out doing this little trip that we just did, which I'm going to order this week, is I need to get 2 underquilts. Underquilts are something that go underneath your hammock, insulates you from, the cold air blowing on your back. So like you're always going to learn. It's always an evolving system. But yeah, if you're starting from ground zero, copy what we got. And yeah, things will change. We live in an area where there's tons of water. There's creeks, rivers, streams, reservoirs everywhere. So I pretty much just carry water filters and I can, filter water. If you live out in the desert, like you're mainly gonna be carrying water.
Yeah.
Like, but
Well, and that's to just kind of, touch on what they both said, and just kind of how everyone's kit's going to change and everything's going to be different and whatever else, at the end of the day, it may sound extreme, but it could come down to survival. I mean, 100%. But just kind of, going with what they said. Now, are you single? are you a single guy, single girl, whatever, you load for you and just yourself. But like you said, we all have, wives and kids and whatever else. So it's like, what is your, like you said, your mission specific. So like I said, not only are we telling you to, hey, if you need a starting point, here it is. But if you have a starting point, you have to evolve it. Like you can't just keep it for like, oh, they seem like they kind of know what they're doing. We don't, but they seem like they kind of know what we're doing. So I'm just gonna keep everything that they're doing, and I'm not gonna evolve. I'm not gonna change. No, this is just a starting point, a skeleton, if you will.
Yeah, just a good start. And like what he was saying, everything evolves.
Yes.
So it's like, before I had 2 kids and they were younger kids and I had a baby carrier backpack. I would, you could pack different stuff in. They got older. I got rid of that backpack, gave it to a buddy. Well, we had a, little happy, what do you call it? Happy accident, So now I've got a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and now a 3-year-old. So I went out and bought another one of those backpacks. And, so you can't just kind of plan for yourself. If say we're, down in Columbus and we've got to hike 40 miles north, like my 3-year-old's not hiking 40 miles north.
Yeah.
Now the 2 older kids, there's a backpack in there for them. They'll have to switch back and forth who's carrying it. Yeah, they're going to complain a lot, but we're going to get where we're going.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything is evolving. Everything is changing, and everything's going to change for your specific, setup, your specific family, whatever it may be.
Yeah. And just kind of going on to that, you have something?
Well, I was just going to say as well, just getting out to something as simple as just going out in your backyard and just using your gear, using your MSS or whatever system you have. Like I learned from this trip, how to pack my bag because it rubbed me in a certain way. Getting that heavier gear higher up on my shoulders. How to deploy certain stuff. So like it's good to get out and just use it and see how it's going to work for you.
That's a
Because not every gear is going to work the way you think it will.
Also, that's a fantastic transition because that's literally what I was about ready to say. Like you need to go out. You need to use your stuff. You need to try it. Yeah, it sucks. You got to use it. You got to replenish it. You got to do whatever. But the thing is though, it's just like buying a gun.
Yeah.
Hey, I bought that. I put a mag through it. Boom, I'm carrying it. It's good to go. No, you know what I mean? Like
It doesn't work that way.
maybe.
For a lot of people, it does
Yeah,
work
for a
that
lot
way.
of people it does. It's like, oh, hey, I went out, I shot a paper target at 5 yards.
And I use nothing but full metal jackets. Like, did you shoot any of your carry ammo?
Yeah, why?
Does it
It's
feed
the same
HSTs?
thing. Does it though?
Well, I spent a lot of money on it. Well, I remember back in the day that one of the first slimline kind of guns like that was becoming popular was a Kimber EMP. Everybody's like, "Oh, that thing's awesome." Then you start watching some reviews. It's like, yeah, it doesn't feed hollow points. It's like,
Yeah.
What's the good of a defensive gun if it doesn't feed hollow
Like,
points?
oh no,
You know?
Like, it goes bang, doesn't cycle.
Yeah. So I mean, but yeah, same. It's a very good. How would you say it? What's the word I'm looking for?
Training tool, or it's like
No, it's a very good anyways, similarity between the two as far as, get out and train with your gun, get out and train with your gear that you might have to rely your life on someday. And hopefully you don't, hopefully this is all just a pipe dream that, we all just kind of fantasize about.
We're just COD players that take this too far. Yeah, we got called COD players, and
it's like, listen here, I haven't played Call of Duty since 2012. All right.
Yeah, I hadn't played since
maybe
last
during
year.
COVID a little bit.
But yeah, just kind of just touch on that just a little bit more. Get out and use your gear. Get out and try it. Get out and put in, like you said, all of us, we're all bigger guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are we disgusting and completely out of shape? No.
I mean,
But-
I am, but
I just say myself.
I'm strong.
You don't want to see what I say behind closed doors. But like if I'm going to do it, I have 3 same body type buddies, same I don't want to say work ethic, but you know what I'm trying to get across. If we can do it, and and I know there's gonna be people that watch the video or maybe even watch this. Well, yeah, you guys could lose some weight, or yeah, you guys could do this, or yeah, you guys could have rucked faster. Yeah, you guys could have went farther. 100%. But this was everything you said is not invalid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could lose weight. Yeah, we could go faster. Yeah, we could ruck farther. But this was all a specific scenario and situation that we already had planned and whatever else. But getting away from that,
Mind you, if you're commenting that stuff,
go do
when's
it.
the last time you went out and did it?
Yeah, go do it. That's what I'm saying. You can go and sit there and you can talk all this smack, whatever you want. Hey, you're not gonna hurt my feelings, and B, thank you because you're giving this channel more
Yeah.
You're
And
gonna
it's
channel more traction.
It's like at the end of the day, you're not going to say anything worse than what I tell myself in the mirror every
Exactly.
day when I wake up.
So if we can go out there and do it, hey, if you're 20-year-old and you're single, go do it.
Yeah.
If you're mid-30s and you got families, go do it. If you're 50s and 60s and you still do the whole prep thing or preparedness or getting your things situated and set up, go do it.
Well, and also like the other thing is like most of the people that watch this video, that watch our channel, they're men. So like the male ego is like something you kind of got to get past because in my head I still think I'm that 18-year-old that was an infantryman in the army that can go out and ruck with 300 pounds plus of gear on between my body armor, ammo, mags, gun, rucksack, water, everything. It's like it's a lot of weight, and in my head I'm like I can. I used to ruck 12 miles in 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's like. Yeah, it's not the case anymore.
Yeah, no.
More broken down, older, not in the same shape I used to be. So like in your head, you think you can do more than what you can.
Yeah.
So this is an eye opener. We saw firsthand, like by the time we were done, like we did it. But you could definitely, we're sitting there around camp. It's like,
we were sore. We were getting
lower
stiff,
back's a little
and,
stiff, like.
But that's the thing though too. It's like speaking for myself, yeah, I have 2 giant freaking blisters on the sides of my feet now. But the thing is though. Oh, well, yeah, you got blisters, cry about it. But what I'm saying is, it didn't feel good.
Yeah.
But you know what? I pushed myself.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows you maybe a little bit about yourself. It's like, man, I can do this.
Well, but you also learn something too, where it's like, man, maybe I need to get some better shoes. For him, I need to pack my bag a little differently. For me, like, man, I need to change some of my gear a little bit. Like, it's all a learning tool.
Right.
You almost drank it again.
I mean, he seems to like my drink. So going back to what you were saying, ounces equal pounds and pounds equals pain. So certain items like are non-negotiables. You need to have them, but being mindful of different ways to pack. Whether it be a certain type of sleep system to combat the cold, or just be mindful of certain types of gears you can supplement for others and still accomplish the same goal.
Well, and also one of the things that we were kind of talking about during the trip is like, military stuff is kind of the way to start with. You can get some really good gear that's used and from military surplus stores, different places, and it's going to be durable, it's going to last, and it's going to work, but it's also heavy.
Right.
So like that's part of the
you can get good at a good cost.
Yeah.
And it's readily available, but you're going to pay for it in the weight category.
Yeah, and it's like somebody like us, like we've got families that we're going to have to be carrying for because our wives, our kids, they're not going to be able to carry the same weight we can. You might be like, oh, maybe I do need to go out and look at some backpacking stuff, go to REI and look at the ultra lightweight stuff that's super expensive. But, if you can have a pack for 4 people that weighs 50 pounds or a pack for 1 person that weighs 50 pounds, maybe that's something you need to look into. But there's also some stuff for me that's like a non-negotiable. Like, yeah, you can get better lightweight sleeping bags, but they're down. Down gets wet, it's done. So like I'm going to stick with MSS. I'm going to stick with something synthetic filler in it that even if it gets wet, it still holds an R value a little bit. But don't want to keep on talking too much.
But yeah, so just kind of, just talking about this whole thing. I mean, I know we've pretty much really went over the entire, video in a way.
Yeah.
But even like just kind of touching on for a little bit the whole camp setup. You know what I mean? There was a method to the madness. We had a fire in the middle. We had Caleb sleeping on one side, Ethan in the hammock on the other, me on the other side. We didn't just, hey, I'm gonna go sleep over there, or hey, it was chilly, it was cold, so we did kind of prep and plan out our campsite in a way. At one point, we just had a hole in the ground with just some log, a log cabin style fire, and it was wasn't taken very well, and then it was blowing out or was burning too quick or whatever. So we went and got some rocks, built it up a little bit of a barrier and stuff like that, and then we were able to have a more sustainable fire for if we needed it for boiling water or food sources or whatever else. Yeah, we had a jet boil, and yeah, we had a couple bottles of water. But this morning, as we record this morning, did get water out of a creek and and filtered it and whatever else, and brushed our teeth, put in MREs, whatever you want to say. But
Right.
Just the whole camp thing too. Like if you look at yourself in this situation, you don't want to put yourself in a bad location either. You don't want to put yourself in a bad situation right off the rip. Say you do need water. If you got to hike another, half mile, 3/4 of a mile or whatever to find a river or find a creek or whatever else, you know what I mean? Like, why not just move your camp, walk that one time to where, you set up your camp or whatever else. So,
Right. I mean, and keeping in mind, the Pacific event is going to dictate a lot of our actions.
Yeah, yes.
So tactically speaking, you're not going to want to stay at a water source.
Yeah.
Because that's where bad things will happen in a bad situation.
Well, but also it also depends on the size of the water source, though.
Right.
Like for us, we say next to a small creek. That's not going to be something that's going to draw people in a grid down scenario. And like he was also saying, it all depends. Like, for us, our theory, our kind of thing was like, the first 72 hours after something happens, you're probably going to be all right. People aren't going to be getting desperate.
Everything's decently chill.
Do you want to hit on? 'Cause I know a lot of people are going to probably bring up the fact that we had a fire.
Oh yeah, so like,
So you want to?
yeah, we can. I'll kind of talk about it. I'll transition, just give it to you. So it's like we had a fire, and in our, and like I said, if it's super cold out and it comes down to dying from being cold or having a fire and possibly drawing somebody to you, I'm going to draw somebody to me. I'm not dying. I'm not freezing to death. But for us, like our kind of thought was, this is like, hey, first 72 hours, grab our stuff, let's hike home. And, something happens along the way. We got to stop and spend the night, or we got to stop and get some rest. So yeah, we had a fire, but in our heads, the first 72 hours are probably going to be pretty safe. People aren't going to be getting desperate. They're not going to be going out and trying to get, if you have a backpack, they're going to try to think, oh, I need to steal that backpack.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, that can change. But it was just one of those, we kept it semi-realistic, but it's also just a group of guys just out, kind of testing our gear, having fun.
Yeah. But I mean, I would agree too. I'm 100%. Like if someone's like, hey, we can't have this fire because it's going to attract someone, or it's a beacon, they're going to see the smoke and they're going to, try to come and, rob us or what, or, rape and pillage our stuff. Cool. Bring it. Because like, wait a minute. That sounded
Not the rape.
yeah, bring it, because like you said, I'm not freezing to death. Yeah. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die with a couple holes in my chest or something. You know what I mean? Like but at the same time,
I'm well armed with some hot sauce. I mean, I can.
I'll start squirting out everywhere.
There's a story behind that.
Yeah,
We'll definitely get into it. But like what you said, like, if it's just you, like, yeah, suck it up, freeze, whatever. Like, but if you got your family with you, like I got 3 little kids and a wife, I'm going to get that big old fire going, try to get them laid down and go to sleep. If I got to pull security all night, I'm pulling security all night.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
because I'll be a lot more efficient, a lot more violent, or, efficiently violent, warm than I am cold.
when your fingers are cold,
there
which we found out doing that stupid torture test for the Gen 6, your fingers start getting cold. Like,
yeah, you can't, dude, it hurts to load mags. You can't hold a gun. Like, you can't feel the trigger. You can't feel the, I mean, it's, next thing you know, you're dipping down crazy deep, and your shots are 4 inches off target and everything else. But it is like certain things like that. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you have dealt with it. Being military and stuff. But like just a couple average guys, it's like, man, I never really thought about that. Like if I'm obviously I thought about that, but it's like if I'm in this situation, I'm stressed already, and my family's cold and they're stressed, and it's making me more stressed, and you got to worry about this or worry about that. But like it's nice to just kind of get out there and see, like, yeah, you build a fire, you get things going. Like you said, if my family's cold, we're getting a bonfire going. Yeah. And then if I got to stay up all night and just, like you said, pull security, or, maybe, well, whatever happens.
Yeah. And like we've already said, it's all, it's all situational dependent too.
Oh, 100%.
I mean,
yes.
It's not a one.
Not a one trick pony kind of thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Because kind of the way I kind of look at it too is like, so, like I said, the whole preparedness side of this. If we're getting home, we're going to try to get home within 72 hours. If you're out further than that, then yeah, stuff's going to change, situational dependent. But it's also going to change too, where like, say something does happen, we got to go pull a mission or something. We're going to be able to pack our kit specifically for that event. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, we're going to have a cold camp. So let's take regular MREs that have retort pouches that we can eat cold. Let's, try to pack lighter. We're going to be in an LPOP every, couple hours. We're going to be switching out for security reasons. So you're going to be laying down, taking a 2-hour nap here and there, an hour nap, whatever it may be. So like not without getting off in the weeds too much about some doomsday fantasy. Everything's gonna be mission specific, and you've got to just kind of play that mental exercise and think through it for yourself.
Yeah.
So let's just kind of go over some of the stuff. Like I said, I'll start. I learned, hey, I need to have a couple under quilts for the hammocks. Logan, you're kind of starting at square one. You got any thoughts or anything that's kind of going through your head that you've been thinking like, oh, I need to do this, or this is something I want to kind of try to set up or emulate, or
I mean, yeah. I mean, you kind of look at some of the stuff, like I said, that he has in his truck, and just I've seen his kits in general and stuff. And then you have, I'm sure if you guys watch the video, you'll see that he has literally his entire house on his back. But having stuff like that, it's like, to me, you kind of want to pick and choose, like you said, what you want to have. But I will say for sure, obviously, your food is always a necessity and stuff like that. Even more so, I might say that like a cold, a cold weather meal, or yeah, is that what it is? Meal cold weather, would probably more of a viable option than a regular, than your regular freeze dried or mountain house in general. Just because, like you said, we have gotten comments and stuff saying you need something quick to eat, energy bar, or what was that, the filled French toast, or the
first strike.
yeah, the first strike cranberry rice bar. I mean, those things.
That was good.
It was good, but just having stuff like that, it's a little bit more. It's just a little bit more, beneficial to have in a way. And I'm sure too, just kind of looking through packs and stuff, you kind of, the more you use it, obviously, you're gonna see like, man, do I really need this, or do I really need that, or what? Like there are some stuff too, like your jet boil you had. That thing was as big as my stove. You know what I mean? Like myself, if I have a like a pack for myself, yeah, I might go a little bit smaller or whatever else. But with yours being a family or whatever else, you need it to have something to be able to boil multiple cups at once or whatever. And even like you said, they have a bigger version.
Yeah.
That you could literally, you could boil for a whole camp if you need to. Like,
well, also, but the thing is too, something we saw. Caleb saw it. He's got like is it an MSR pocket rocket or is it like a copy of one?
It's MSR.
Okay, so he's got an MSR pocket rocket with a titanium cook cup, and it was one of those where it's like he saw how efficient those stupid jet boils are, because I was able to boil 2 16-ounce pots of water in the time he was able to do one, like, hello?
that was our friendly neighborhood ghost. That was weird. Go ahead.
Anyways, so like, that's something you also got to look at too. Like, because like Logan was just saying, like they do make smaller jet boils. It's got to be the wind.
We don't have power lines here, dog. Everything's underground.
Never mind.
It's like, but yeah. So just kind of like, coming back to me with what you said, I would definitely, like I said, take their kits into consideration, very much so. But I would also kind of pick and choose what he has, what Caleb has, and once again, make my own kit. Because everything, like you said, is going to be dependent on the situation, and it's all going to come down to what you need and what you need for you and yours.
And also, just to add something small to that, it also comes down to your physical abilities.
Yes.
Like if you're somebody that doesn't hike and stuff, like you can't, because we all started the same way. Like I know Caleb probably did, I did. First, you're like, you watch these nut and fancy videos when you're back in 2010 or something, and he's hiking out there with 80 pounds on his back, and it's like, yeah, I can carry that. You start loading up a bag, and before you know it, it's like, I can't carry that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I got to dump some stuff down. I got to dump some stuff. I got to get different equipment. But like, if you're a smaller stature person that's not in shape, or if you're a woman, if you're, an older person, like that's all going to depend on how much weight you can carry.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know if did we go over kind of like what you had in your bag for the most part? I said, because we kind of went over with him, what he had in his truck or whatever else.
We talked about a few items, but we didn't go over the whole contents of the bag.
Okay.
So basically, the thought process behind the bag is we do not have the same sustainment system as the military, or logistics system, resupply. So
we can't call in a gunship when we need one or something.
Right. So, power needs, clothing, food, all those, we need to be self-sufficient or have stashes out and about to be able to supply our need, to get done what we need to get done. So just thinking about, what gear what we have stashed in certain locations that we won't get into all the details of. But like just a simple breaking contact drill, you can go through, a handful of magazines real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So having, backup mags, I have an additional six on the ruck, on top of what I already carry for my main go-to. Then we have water. We have my own individual kit, which is both chemical and filter.
So you've got your individual kit, and you've also got your what is that? Your like your big group kit, water kit.
I keep a group kit, so it's a 10-liter platypus that's a filtered, and then gravity fed system that I treat with chemical to make sure that we're good there. We have a MSS pocket rocket stoves to process water if we can't make it full fire for any reason, to have lighter weight for food. So we use a lot of freeze dried, so we can boil that water to process for food. Have a sustainment power kit in there that is a 28-watt solar with a battery bank and rechargeable batteries for specific gear that we carry.
Yeah, and just kind of because I seen that yesterday, and kind of touching on that. I mean, that's something that, you know, what you asked me just a couple minutes ago. That's something that I never really would even think about. Like, yeah, I would have some double A's, triple A's, CR 1, 2, 3, just, but being able to have like a legitimate battery bank, or because it has solar too, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
It's a 28-watt 4-panel solar system.
Yeah, so you can have
So
something like that to where, like, if say you have comms, we have comms, say you have phone, or say you have your phone, or even it's something, as we all have kids, as something as stupid as it is, say you do have a phone and your kid's just scared or stressed or whatever, you just put some YouTube on, or put some Bluey, or whatever it is.
If crap hits the fan, hopefully you have that stuff downloaded. But
Well,
maybe like a favorite game on their phone or
well,
something.
but yeah, but you know what I'm saying though. But like, if your phone's dying, you can plug it in or whatever else. But like,
when you're pushing out comms for
Yeah.
8-12 hours, you're
Yeah.
flying through some serious
Yeah.
power usage, and so you need to have a way to resupply those batteries
Yeah.
that are feeding those comms.
and especially having a natural source, with the solar panels and stuff.
Replenishable.
Yeah, replenishable source.
And
So,
also, that's also the other thing too, is like I've got some of that stuff in other kits. That was kind of the interesting kind of contrast in this little experiment we did. Is mine was a straight get home, like I'm not going to try to sustain a fight. I'm going to try to get away from a fight if I have to, like get home situation bag. Caleb's is more of like a grid's already down, I've got to grab and go kind of thing. So it was kind of interesting just to see the contrast to it, because like I've got different kits where I've got solar panels and backup batteries and stuff to try to accommodate charging comms and whatnot. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting little contrast
yeah,
stuff.
just kind of seeing the difference between, like you said, like your bag versus his bag, or versus not even your bag, but what you have, at readily available, compared to what he has readily available to grab and go, and not only your actual like grab and go bag of your sustainment bag, if that's what you want to call it, but also kind of touch on your fighting bag a little bit too, because I know those kind of go hand in hand, do they not?
They do. So it's a 2-bag system, so I can just grab those 2 bags and go. It's a Minuteman kit.
Yep.
So the 1 bag is everything that goes on body, line 1 and line 2. And then that bag you're going to see in that video is my line 3. That is the sustainment portion.
Okay.
Now, obviously, there is a component there that is missing, which would be considered the assault pack, if you will. So if you need to do a fast movement, or you're expecting contact, then at that point you would ditch that sustainment, and then you would move lighter.
Well, and that's the thing too, kind of like when he was talking about that yesterday, and Ethan's talked about it too. You look at stuff like that, you're like, we did this, this Minuteman mile, this ruck, this walk, whatever you want to call it. But we also kind of went into it just with, just like a get homey-ish type gear. But, especially you guys having stuff to where, like, it's like a puzzle piece. This fits with this collaborates with this, this plays off of this, and for people watching or they watch the video or the podcast, whatever, if you make it this far, thank you. But if you make it this far and you're like, man, I never really thought about that, or I never really like took in consideration, like, yeah, I could have all the sustainment stuff, but what if like all I have is my all I have is my CCW with 3 mags or something like that. You know what I mean? But you guys, have the thought outness, forethought of like this gun is going to go with this bag, and this bag is going to go with this system, and this system is going to go with this get home, or whatever it is. That way, like you are literally, if you think about it, you are literally like prepared for anything and everything to an extent. So that's, I mean, like I said, that's something that like seeing your guys' stuff, it really does kind of like, man, I never really thought about that. That does kind of go hand in hand.
Well, and there's also some other stuff to like consider with that kind of thing too. Is like one of the most basic things that nobody thinks of. Hey, grid's down. What's also down? Credit card systems. So like that's something I know Logan, he doesn't carry cash on him. He uses Venmo and everything. Me, I've always got a wad of cash on me. And that comes back to playing in my mind. All right, grid goes down. I've got to run into Walmart. They're saying, hey, we can only take cash. I can grab, $300 worth of stuff. So like, that's kind of something that goes through my head too when it goes into that. So like for Logan, if he sets up a bag, it's probably be good in a little pouch somewhere to throw, 3 $100 bills in, or, a $100 bill, a 50, and then break it down to 20s, ones and fives, something along those lines. That'd be something for you to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, talking about currency. I mean, as the state we are in right now, I mean, obviously we could do a whole podcast on where we are at right now, but just the state we are right now, and with, how everything is, I mean, hell, they stopped making the penny. You know what I mean? I know it sounds dumb, but they stopped making a currency, because it costs 7 cents to make 1 cent, which is crazy. But, we could get into the whole, just touch on it just slightly, but you talk about cash. At one point, that cash ain't gonna mean nothing either. So gold and silver.
Well,
what I mean?
that's what I'm saying. For my kit, like the first 72 hours, cash is still going to be king.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
yeah.
like you said, you just said that like gold, nobody can afford gold right now. If
Yeah.
you can, good on you. But even silver right now is
I
crazy.
have a chunk.
I mean, like I bought last time I bought my last round of silver, I think I spent $27 an ounce.
Bro, I just drank
Now
this again.
You might as well just finish it. I mean, you're getting close. I mean,
Gosh.
but no, it's just it's pretty much empty. It's a little bit much.
Dude, I'm just grabbing it like it's not like it's mine. Go ahead.
But no, it's one of those things too where it's like, yeah, if you can go out and spend $100 and get some quarter ounce silver coins. So because if you have a 1 ounce silver coin, that's what you got to pretty much trade with. But if you got some smaller denominations, some different mints do different smaller sizes.
Yeah.
So if you want to throw that in with that money, go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
The other thing that a lot of people don't think about is like, Caleb, he's carrying ammo. You're
Ammo,
gonna
you
get
can
him
barter
in a
with ammo.
situation like, hey man, I'll give you 5 rounds of 5.56 if you give me that case of water.
Yeah.
Or whatever it may be. Which that might be once again further on down the road past 72
Or
hours.
I'm just going to shoot that person and take their water.
Either I'm going to give you the bullets one way or give them. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
Yeah, that's a joke. But yeah, just just kind of looking into that, like it, this all, like I said, we are kind of going down a unrealistic ish rabbit hole to where,
Hopefully unrealistic.
yeah, like to where it all goes down to you have all this stuff and you have all this gear and you have everything, but like you said, grid collapse, crap hits the fan, whatever it may be, all of this stuff, it's not just us talking, just to, take up space or take up time or take up air. All this stuff does correlate with each other eventually. Like no matter what, it will, come together. Good.
And this bag here will most likely never be used, or hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully highly unlikely to be used. So everything that's in this bag, like wool is king for me. Wool socks, wool base layers.
Yep.
I mean, wool is where it's at for me.
I mean, just real quick, what did I say to you yesterday when we were getting ready to leave?
Wool socks?
I said,
Wool
make sure you
socks?
wear wool, wear synthetic. As
Oh,
far as
yeah.
like base layers and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, like all of that stuff that's in this bag, whether it be my power supplement kit, my base layer bag that's all in waterproof bags, all this stuff translates over to my get home bag, which is more likely to be used.
Yes.
If I break down somewhere, or we have some type of natural disaster, or something that's more likely to occur. So that way everything is scalable and everything, if I need both bags, they can be work in tandem and everything is compatible with each other.
Well, that's this too, kind of what what you just said, which you could look at it that way too. Obviously, these bags don't have to be for world's ending.
No, natural
You
disaster.
you-
Crack with
natural
the fan can
disasters-
be anything.
Yeah, like natural disasters, or say you're just traveling to Nevada, you're driving, and your car breaks down, and you're in the middle of nowhere. Hey, tow truck can get there in 3.5 hours.
Or you have no cell phone service, so
or-
you got to walk to get cell phone coverage.
Yep. Just I mean, it could be literally anything like that. It doesn't have to be someone's kicking in your door, people parachuting from the sky, or whatever.
Red Dawn scenario.
Yeah.
But also in saying that, like, I know we're going to get, you always get comments on that. That's so unrealistic. That'll never happen. Ask the people in Ukraine if that would ever happen.
Yeah.
Ask the people in Iran right now if that would ever happen.
Yeah.
Venezuela. I mean, to think that we're impenetrable to something happening is insane.
You know what? Oh, you can even take that a step further, and yeah, I understand that's the whole spiel by itself. But ask the people up in what was it, Michigan? They got hit with that F4, F5 tornado, whatever it was. Ask
Yeah.
the people in
North Carolina.
The other, it was North Carolina when they got hit with the flood and all
Yeah.
that. Like even just things like that. Yeah,
Train
obviously.
derailments. I mean,
Obviously, you'd be like, well, yeah, well, their house got destroyed. I'm sure all their gear did. Yeah, maybe.
I mean-
but they may have been able to get into a basement, get their stuff down here, and whatever else. But that's a very good point that you brought up. It doesn't have to be, shit hits the fan, parachute, whatever. It could be anything that could
well, I
be.
mean, and if
considered
you're
a
getting
natural
hit with a
disaster.
hurricane, you're getting hurt. Like, yeah, that is shit hitting the fan for you.
Yeah, it is for me. I tell you that.
But but I'm just saying, so don't try to get in this whole mindset of like, oh, that'll never happen. This is unrealistic. You guys are wasting money, whatever. Hopefully we are. That's without a doubt. I hope it's always just a waste.
Yeah, there's many different levels of shit hitting the fan. I mean, it's not just a total area collapse. It could be just something locally, or it could be just something with you and your family. If you lost your job, you have no money, you have like that's your own personal shit just hit the fan, and you may need to live out of that bag until you can get money to.
Yeah, you and your family might be eating,
there's-
freeze-dried meals.
I mean, not everything is guns and ammo. Not everything is tactical. Those resources can and should cover a wide variety of.
Yeah. And it's also one of those things too, where like, it doesn't even have to be necessarily like a small natural disaster. It could be something huge. If you guys don't know what the Carrington event is, go ahead and Google it. Pause this, go over to Google, type in the Carrington event and look into it. It's a huge, not an EMP, but a, solar flare.
CME.
Yeah, CME, coronal mass ejection, that hit the United States, and it was before power was really a thing, but there was telegraph lines. Multiple people died. Telegraph lines were lighting on fire, and there's enough research on it because it was current enough in world history that if that happened today, you would not have a vehicle, a phone, anything. Everything with power, the power grid, everything is done, gone. If that happens while we're at work, we got to hike home. So that was kind of the scenario we were.
Can I push a quick plug?
Yeah.
A quick plug for Silent Bag. They are a EMP. They also have EMP and waterproof bags. I run those for my comms, my ham radios. When you absolutely need it, you need to put your cell phone in and kill that signal, or just keep it waterproof. Those bags are key.
No, he can have it back. I'm just gonna, what is a silent bag? What is the name for it that people will most likely look at?
Faraday.
Yeah.
It's a Faraday bag. It's the company itself. Is it spelled SNLT?
I can't remember, but yeah, just go. You Google it, you'll find it.
Right. They're a great company. I have multiple of their bags, both water and non-water. But they're Faraday. They're Wi-Fi blocking. I've done quite a few tests on them where I'll put our cell phones in them, put ham radios in them. Biggest thing with ham radios, take the antennas off. The antennas give you more gain, and they will fail. It takes them out and past what they are built for. So remove the antennas. Put your hams in. Put your antenna next to it, and they are good to rock and roll.
Yeah, it's one of those, like Logan turned me onto those, like that exact brand, like a while ago. But
It's not the only thing I turned them on to.
but radio equipment, like you said, everything like that, even down to like if you're balling, and you're really into this, like you've got yourself a $3,000 to $10,000 pair of nods. Get one of those bags, keep it sorted in there.
Yeah.
You know, it would
think,
really suck if you spent that kind of money and
a
then crap hits the fan. It's like,
Yeah. Oh man, I didn't want to spend $40 on a bag to save my $4,000 investment.
yeah,
It's a good insurance.
Yeah. But yeah, that is nice too, which, I kind of felt, a little proud because Ethan has literally everything. So when I brought that up and he was like, good job. Yeah, pat on the back a little bit. But yeah, even seeing that in your bag too, and just having something like that, like I said, so minuscule as you can find them on Amazon. You can find reputable companies. You can find the silent company on Amazon. You can get them. Obviously, you can get them for $20-$30 all the way up to 100. You can get packs of them, whatever else.
And there's other companies out there other than just Silent. But
Yeah, 100%.
I've had experience with Silent, and I can say they're a great company. I've reached out to them. They're good at responding. I have had zero issues with their quality. So I would definitely say that I'd highly recommend them.
Yeah.
they are kind of the top dogs in that kind of.
Oh, 100%. 100% they are. So yeah, kind of maybe go ahead and start wrapping it up a little bit. I know this one was kind of just off the top of the dome a little bit. Yeah, it was really nice that we just did our video slash, hike day. So we had a lot of stuff to talk about.
We actually had somebody else lined up for today.
Yeah.
He canceled on us. Caleb had taken 2 vacation days. He's like, hey, dog,
Yeah, let's
do this?
Yeah, let's get this. This is going, because it would have been just me and him again. But we plan on having him on here in general. But anyway, here we are.
Yeah. So, just in saying this, with everything that's going on in the world, and I hate saying that because it's kind of like this cliche kind of saying.
But it is. It's true.
We're on the brink of World War III, possibly.
Yeah.
Who knows? History books might show that we already are in World War III.
Yeah.
So, we've seen a huge influx in our Minuteman video, our Tier 2 video, our Tier 1 video. So people are worried about this. They're thinking about this.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what would I do if, I go outside, there's parachutes, like people are parachuting from whatever. So this is kind of a perfectly timed thing. We had this planned before any of this started to happen.
Yes, it did.
And everything.
Yes.
So
Like we planned it.
we knew.
But yeah, so just kind of, just my little last piece of information, whatever. Go out there and train. Use your stuff. It doesn't matter if it's a firearm or if it is your gear. And it could be any kind of gear you want. Get out there and train. Try it out. See what you're capable of. Push yourself. Just keep doing. Keep doing you and getting.
1 second. I want to tail off this. I'll hand it over.
Go
to you.
ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, and like he's saying, train. Get out there and train with your firearm too, because if something does happen and you've got some gear, if you own it and you can't protect it, it was never yours to begin with.
Yeah, very true. That's mine now.
And one of the areas that I'm lacking, and I recognize it and I'm working on, is physical.
Yeah.
Get out there, hit the gym, hit the track, hike with weight like we just did.
Yeah.
It's anything to get your physical physique.
Yep.
Physique.
Physical fitness. Yeah.
Words hard.
Yeah.
Just it doesn't have to always be the warrior mindset. Just get out there and train with whatever you have a need for.
Yeah.
Whether it be physical, monetary, like you were talking about having cash, budgeting.
Yep.
Having the skill set to have that money set aside for the rainy day.
Yep.
Firearms, budgeting some ammo aside just for training or anything like that.
Yeah.
Training goes well beyond all the cool guy stuff.
Yes, it does. Very much
So
That's
I could go down a tangent, but
That's a good point. But yeah, no, like I said, we all, we all did it. We all pushed ourselves. We were all out there. We hopefully that you guys did enjoy the video. Hopefully you did watch it. But if you did make it this far, hopefully you can just go ahead and finish this, go back and watch the other one. But I could see that definitely being a more future endeavors of that kind of realm of
as long as you guys
video.
like it.
Yeah, as long as you guys like
show
it.
you like it, we're gonna do this. Once again, it's like with the shooting.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this kind of stuff anyways. We're
Yep.
both autistic. Maybe he is too. I don't know. But
Yeah.
Logan and I are both autistic when it comes to this stuff. Like we're overthinking things, and we're gonna go out and test this stuff anyways. We're gonna bring you guys along. If you guys like it, it'll give us more motivation to do it more often.
100%.
But no, I wanted to just because we're kind of closing on this. I want to say a big thank you to Caleb. He said yes without even thinking twice. He literally, hey man, this is what we're thinking. Do you want to do this? Let me see if I can put in vacation days. literally 6 hours later, hey, vacation days are in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
I'm good to
It's
go.
like, all right, let's.
Yep.
It's solidified. It's set in stone. So having friends like this is awesome. If you guys need a group to do something like this, plan it yourself. Get on Facebook and find local hiking groups and be like, hey, I'm getting ready to go out and test my get home bag. Anybody want to come with? And you'll meet people.
Yeah, 100%.
Go hang out at your local gun store. Go
Don't
hang
be
out.
scared to put yourself out there either.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna, like, for us, like the guys from this podcast, Jared. I was gonna say I couldn't remember which one it was, but Jared, he's been texting him, and he was like, "Next time you guys do this, I'm in."
Yeah.
So like, it's simple, just little things.
And it's easier for guys too to make friends than it is females.
Yeah,
but still, just put yourself out there. You never know. You really don't know. But yeah, just kind of wrapping up. We appreciate you guys sticking this far into the video. If you did, once again, thank you very much. We are just on the cusp of getting this this channel just to the next level. Yeah, to the next level. The full monetization. I know we don't really like talking about money and stuff like that. But just letting you guys know, because we like to be transparent, let you guys know where we are with this channel. But yeah, so hopefully you guys did enjoy this video and the actual Minuteman Mile video as well. Go ahead and make sure you hit those likes, comments, and subscribes on both. Turn on the notifications so you know every time we drop a short or a video or anything in between. And as always,
we'll see you guys next time through Daily Dose Podcast, brought to you by R&R.
We'll see you guys.
Hey, all work, no pleasure. I ain't here to make friends, big stepper. Hey, bad guy, Heath Ledger. Ready for wherever, I'll be front and center. Don't fly too close to the sun, your body chopped up by propellers. Came in arrogant, but left out